pani Martinu Fiabanovú z Akadémie v Bratislave. Je to vlastne virtuálna internátna škola, medzinárodná. Takže nech sa páči.
Dobrý deň, ja budem dnes hovoriť po anglicky. Zamýšľam, že dúfam, že teda prezentáciu. Your guest and host of this unique event. We're very happy to be here. My name is Martina, and I'm here today together with my colleagues from International Boarding School in Bratislava, the Leaf Academy. And we're very happy to actually be here. We had a conversation over lunch, how special we find it to be included in this community when sometimes this field might feel a bit lonely because we feel like pioneers of something new. Sometimes you have a conversation and you try to explain what you do and you get these empty looks in people's faces, and that happens less and less. And it's also for us, it's very unique that here in Slovakia, in the world, the topic of character education is getting more popularity. We're very grateful for the organizers for that, and we're happy to be here. So today, I just want to stress we're not academics, we're practitioners. So we're going to approach this topic from that point of view. Today, I'm here to name of our team to talk to you about how we think about and how we go about assessing the impact of character education at the Leaf Academy. So what is a character education program? It's a value-driven 4-year program supporting the character development of young people, but it's above everything, it's a whole school effort. It happens explicitly through our seminars and other expeditions. The method that we use there is experiential learning, mainly with the young people, or it happens implicitly through culture, in our residential program, in advisory program, and extracurricular, etc. And this, when I was listening to today's speeches and talks about the Aristotelian friendship definition, this is mainly, I was immediately thinking of our residential program, of the culture of Leaf. But everything, both of these, whether it's explicit or implicit, is very much based in our core mission and values. Also, when Juan Pablo was mentioning, the schools, when you ask teachers about the mission, they usually they don't know. I think it's different at Leaf Academy. We do know why we're doing the things we're doing, and I could immediately start stating the vision we have and the core values, which are 4 E's, you like to call, and those are ethics, engagement, entrepreneurial mindset, and academic excellence, but also the 21st competencies, the 4 C's. This is what drives our curriculum, not only ours, but also academic ones. So how do we address this impact issue? It's an ongoing challenge for us to try to understand the impact of what we're doing, and why we're even thinking of assessing why we think it's important. Well, at Leaf Academy, we like to do evidence-based change or any kind of adjustments in curriculum. So we like to collect the data and thus improve our curriculum and our subjects. So that's one reason. The other reason is also how we know it's happening if we can't show for it, if we can measure it in some way, and also it's to kind of justify our mission to our donors. Our school is very heavily reliant on donors, so this is something we consider very important. So how do we currently obtain data of student progress? It's through senior thesis. It's the final work of our student that happens in the last year of the program, of their journey at Leaf Academy. Also the work, the seminars that we collect, whether it's reflection, all kinds of written work, presentation, etc. And currently, and that's what I want to talk to you about, is the student assessment survey. Let me just stress, this is just a pilot. We have only second year of running this tool, and we're in very early stages, but we have to start somewhere, and this is what we decided. So, the tool, like I said, is student self-assessment. It's competency-based, that is linked to our graduate profile, to those core values that I was mentioning, the mission. It happens when the student join Leap Academy, and then at the end of each year. So if you're a 4-year program, it happens, you do the survey 5 times. If it's 2-year program, it happens 3 times. It's both qualitative and quantitative, as you can see. So we're trying students assess themselves on the scale, which shows 4 to give them not the option to choose the 3 in the middle. They have to kind of take the stand. And we also ask them to provide evidence to support their answers. So that's the qualitative information. The first kind of impressions we have of this survey. Well, first of all, we collect the information, the survey of 26 competencies. Those are rooted in those core values, but they're broken down into these 4 areas: commitment to growth, self-awareness, self-regulation, value-based behavior, and engagement with others. On the slide, we chose to show you this delta for value-based behavior. As you can see down there are different competencies. And this is what was the difference. We tried to sort of understand what's the difference at the pre and the post measurement. And what we find interesting is just at the first stage, we kind of have more and more questions, of course. What does this mean? And the initial thoughts for us are, for example, okay, so does it really mean that students' ability to defend their values and fight for what they believe in, which is along the lines of moral courage, doesn't mean there is weakening this ability to defend their values, or it doesn't mean that maybe their self-awareness has increased and this is actually a more accurate picture of where they stand. So these are questions, these kind of questions and wonderings are coming up about the data. I'm going to go back. Okay, so just to summarize, what we have learned so far from this work and implementing the student assessment survey is that a long-term approach is vital. It's extremely important to assessing therapeutic development. We're looking into working with our alumni, trying to continue kind of tracking their growth. We need simple language of the competencies. It's quite wordy, especially for the younger students, lower school year ones. Sometimes they don't have the readiness to comprehend what that concept might mean, so we need to simplify that. And there are certain trends in the competence development across the years. That's what we noticed so far. But what we would like to do in an ideal world, many things. I have to actually exclude things from that list because it would get too long. We definitely would like to look into some qualitative research on the long-term effect. So ideally with the 5-year postgraduates, compare how they view their development now, where they're at the moment of their personal character development, and comparing to the data we have from high school when we were at the academy. We would love to increase more points of reference, triangulation data, have peers maybe assessing or giving feedback, teachers, advisors, kind of include more sources of information there. We would like to stay consistent, so continue to collect the data and kind of identify the low and top competencies that are trends. Hopefully in the years to come we notice trends that could ultimately inform us about curriculum, its strengths and its weaknesses, and how we can adjust it, how we can just understand better what the students' personal development is about. And so what's stopping us and what we might maybe help from you, from the academic world, is we need support with methodological help in a way. We want to ensure validity of our data. At the moment, it's a question. What does it mean when a student puts a 4 instead of 3? Maybe for one on the liquid scale, right? For one student, a 3 means something else, but for other, they are at the stage of life when they're trying to figure out who they are. Their position changes a lot. So the data we have, we find it's quite significant, and kind of we still need to understand it a bit better. So we're hoping you can get some support, maybe and insights from you. We're here to learn. And I just want to stress this final thing that for us, although we're trying to measure these competencies, for us, character development in academy isn't about kind of reducing the character development into numbers. It's really about the whole person. It's a lot about the implicit character development that happens at home with our students, when they play sports, when they just have conversation, when they should be studying. It's all, that is included. This is just our first step to try to understand their growth. So thank you very much, and thank you very much.
Ďakujeme. Ak máme prípadné reakcie alebo nejaké otázky, krátke? Ak nie, tak by som pozvala teda ďalšieho prednášajúceho, pána docenta Kaliského z Pedagogickej fakulty Banskej Bystrici.